Oxygen. Humans need oxygen to live, to survive. To swimmers, oxygen is overrated. It's been said that swimming is a sport for wimps. That's because most people don't have a chance to witness what swimmers go through on a day-to-day basis. Swimmers don't get timeouts in the middle of their race. We can't stop and catch our breath. We can't ask for a substitute. It's just you in the pool. Swimmers do more kicks than a soccer player, more flips than a gymnast, more sets than a volleyball player, and more yards than a football player. And you say swimming isn't a sport? Swimming goes unnoticed by the world. It's never on TV, never in the papers, never in media except every 4 years when the world gets together to watch swimming in the Olympics, and all of a sudden, everyone's an expert. Swimmers deserve so much more recognition than they get. They deserve just as much respect as any football player, basketball player, or baseball player. When the alarm goes off at 5:30 in the morning, we crawl and stumble out of bed, knowing that jumping into that cold pool so early will make us that much faster.
It's like swimming is like a 6-month sport where the only thing that really matters is 3 races at the end of the season.
It's a weekend-long meet. There's a lot of people there. There's a full crowd. You're racing twice a day at least, and it's just physically and mentally draining. But the fact that it is such a hyped up and kind of the epitome of our season, I think you know you're getting tired, but you don't think about it because you have so much adrenaline rushing in every race you swim in.
You work so hard just for these under 10 races that really are the only ones that at the end of the day really matter. That's what you're training for.
It's one of the best meets. It's the best meet there.
Justin Allen and Kelly Lewis entered into the McDaniel College swim team for the 2013-2014 season. Even though Justin and Kelly came from different swimming backgrounds, they share the same aspirations. With high expectations from their coaches and fellow swimmers, success is a few strokes away. Between waking up at 5:30 a.m. for practice, working out in the pool for over 20 hours a week, and their weekends lost to swim meets and practices, they need to be extremely disciplined to keep a solid head on their shoulders. This is their story, told by Justin and Kelly themselves. And it all starts now.
My name is Kelly Lewis,
Justin Allen.
and I'm a freshman.
And I'm a freshman.
I've been swimming since I was about 7 years old.
I started summer swimming when I was probably 7. I remember the first time I actually loved swimming is that first summer. The first few swim practices I was not a fan of. But then I remember that first swim meet. I jumped in and I just started to swim fast.
My parents definitely got me into swimming. First of all, of course, I love the sport. It's so fun. I mean, you kind of have to like it. And then swimmers are just cool people. I can't describe it. I've always just meshed really well with them.
I swam club throughout high school. I really enjoyed it, the routine that swimming provided, the relationships that I made through swimming. I was hoping that I could recreate that atmosphere by swimming in college, and it's definitely something that I have been able to do.
I actually really thought about playing softball for the longest time. Then I came here and I met Jeff, met the team and stuff, and I was like, wow, like maybe swimming would be a good idea. And somehow it just worked out that I swim in college.
Coming into a college, any college sport, is a lot to kind of take in from a high school sport or a club team.
I think the college level of swimming is really different than what other people have experienced. I know some of our freshmen weren't swimming, every day of the week, and they didn't have to do dry land and they didn't have to do lifting, and that's a lot to handle when you first come in. It's very surprising.
I think I was very underprepared. I mean, I don't know, sometimes I go into things like, okay, like it'll be really hard and like I'll like have to swim a lot and like I'll probably hate it at times, but it'll be fun, it'll be fine.
I know when I came in as a freshman, I was surprised because I'd never done full year swimming, whereas like Herm, who's always done year-round swimming, it was different practices, but he was used to the time commitment and all that stuff. So I think it just depends on where the freshmen came from, what their background was.
I honestly had no idea how the practices were going to be. They were definitely, in terms of structure, in terms of difficulty, they were very similar to the practices I had in high school.
I knew I was coming into it that like, I was going to work the hardest I've ever done, and I was okay with that.
I was expecting to be in the water as much as we were. I was in the water, for my club team, probably about 9 or 10 times a week, like I was this year. But I was not expecting as many dryland workouts. Dryland workouts are probably what normal people consider normal workouts. For swimmers, when we do our workouts on the land that consist of lifting or running or push-ups, sit-ups, body weight kind of stuff, that's what we consider to be dry land. For my club team, we usually did 3 dryland workouts a week, but when I came here, we were doing dryland workouts every day, and it definitely helped. But it was something that I wasn't quite prepared for.
I mean, I think a lot of them really realized that you couldn't just walk onto this team and just do whatever.
I know, especially for the guys, I'd say one of the hardest things the freshmen faced was the fact that they were half of our team. And so they didn't come in and were given this introductory position where it was like, oh, it doesn't matter if you score points or if you do well or not. But coming in, they were a vital aspect of the team, and it wasn't so much of what you'd expect as the freshmen get to depend on the upperclassmen, and then we kind of make them into the swimmers we need on the team, but the freshmen were depending on the upperclassmen, and we were depending on them because they were half of our team. And that's kind of hard to be thrown into immediately upon entering a team that you barely even know the people.
Like, you really had to kick it up a notch to keep up and to be a part of the team, and I think that's really important because I think when that happens, you really realize how valuable you are to the team as a teammate.
Swimmer. We are our own species. We have a way of living life where if we are not sleeping, eating, or in school, we're in the pool, swimming hundreds of laps, hundreds of miles, doing thousands of flip turns, all for that one race. Every single millisecond counts. Every second we get out to rest in the middle of the set, every minute we don't want to go to practice, every hour we think I can't do this, we're only hurting ourselves. Swimming is 10% physical and 90% mental. If we are not in the correct mental state, then we might as well kiss our race goodbye.
Dual meets in college definitely had a different atmosphere than dual meets in high school. I know that in my high school team, a lot of people joined the swim team and attended the meets just as an activity to do to bolster their resumes for college. And a lot of people didn't necessarily have a passion for the sport.
Whereas in high school and even summer league, I didn't know everyone like that well because the teams were a little bit bigger and just definitely not as connected even.
But in college, it's definitely different. Everyone's swimming because they enjoy it. Everyone's swimming because they want to be there. And that definitely helps the atmosphere at meets because everyone is cheering for their teammates. Everyone is swimming hard because they want to.
I felt like I was more involved in other people's swims because we had been together working so hard, and like I knew that what they wanted to do, like what the time they wanted and how they wanted to improve. I knew like what everyone's like stroke was.
When we outtouched F&M, that was probably the happiest moment of my swimming career.
That was one of the best experiences ever on this team, honestly. It was just amazing. Being a senior and seeing that happen, something that we never really thought possible, it just like brought tears to my eyes. It reminds me of like the movie Miracle. Something we didn't think we could do, and then there it was up on the scoreboard.
was a good one. I was so pumped. I was going crazy. I couldn't believe it. We swam incredible, but it was just like one of those feelings where it was like, I thought that we were gonna out-touch him. I thought we were gonna win. Like, I really believed it, but when it actually happened, it was just unbelievable.
That was a really big deal. Coming in as freshmen, we did not stand a chance against F&M. I mean, we didn't even have a team size that was half of their team. So coming so far and like being able to out-touch a swim team that has really been a powerhouse for a lot of years that we haven't defeated in, I don't even know how long, 10, 20 years, 30 years, long time, was a great feeling. And I'm really glad that I was able to be a part of that because our team has really come a long way and it's been really gratifying.
So Champs was definitely a lot different than I was expecting. The only other high intensity swim meets I've been to in the past are probably my state meets for high school. And even those, there are a lot of people who just don't really want to be there, and there are a lot of parents who just sit in the stands and kind of watch. But our Champs meet was definitely a lot different. The stands were packed, and everyone in the stands was definitely really high energy and was definitely cheering a lot, which you could definitely tell and feed off of as an athlete there. And all the swimmers and all the coaches on deck were real excited, and this meet was the culmination of all of their seasons, and it's real interesting to see everyone come together at once with all these pressures and with all these hopes that they've had for sometimes even more than 6 or 8 months.
Only having Champs as the freshmen's one big meet, and their first big meet probably, I don't know, it probably hyped it up a lot for them, which depending on the person could be good or could be bad.
It's so different because we've had like a week where we had like basically 3 meets in a row, but it definitely was not the same as Champs. Champs is like on a whole new level. So I think the intensity of Champs was something you had to get used to, and that was totally new to me.
Going into Champs, I knew that the race that I cared about the most was the 100 breaststroke. The morning of the 100 breast was probably the first time I felt nervous all season because I had such high goals, especially for this event. And the night before, I swam the 100 breast in the relay, and I thought I swam well, but there were also other people who swam just as well, if not better than I did. And so I knew it was going to be a good race. And we went to the pool and we warmed up. And then the nerves went away and it just turned into adrenaline. Like, it was one of those feelings where I've been waiting all season for this. This is the race. Whenever I thought about Champs, this is the race I was thinking about. I was just ready to to jump in and just to see what would happen.
I think I realized that like this is real. Like, this was my freshman year, and that it was about to be over, and that like I've worked this hard, so I want to like really like improve and continue to work hard.
I warmed up and then I put in my music and I walked up behind the blocks, but I just got excited because I've been thinking about this since June, since I made my commitment to McDaniel. I was looking at the Centennial Conference Championships from the year before, and I was ready to swim.
You've done all the work. Now it's really, you just have fun and you just go out there and swim. You kind of have to take care of yourself when it comes for preparation and getting ready for your next race, which I think is good and bad. I think sometimes if you're having a really good meet, it works really well because you kind of carry your own momentum, and sometimes it's hard to get out of that rut.
I like to stretch a lot before my race and like make sure that like I'm loose. Like, I like to jump around a lot. Kind of get into mental attitude that like, okay, like I'm just gonna swim. I know what to do. Just gonna let my body do this. I've been preparing for this. I can do this. It's like a lot of that, and I just like to like right before my race clear my mind and then like just get ready to dive in.
I was actually kind of disappointed with my prelim swim. Kind of going into prelims, I tried to swim my race. I tried to stay focused and to keep my technique as opposed to just jumping in and just racing and going as fast as I could, and I think that definitely hindered my race. I was placed third, and my goal was to win, so third was definitely a disappointment. But I saw finals as I was third. I was right next to the guy who was first seed, so it would not have been impossible for me to catch him, but I was definitely disappointed after prelims. I was hoping to use my prelim swim to kind of judge how to swim finals, use the same strategy, use the same basic kind of race technique, so that way all I have to worry about is swimming fast and not worrying about how I'm gonna swim. And I definitely had to change up my strategy if I wanted to swim how I wanted to swim and how I knew I could swim. And so I think it added a slight level of negative pressure. Coming into the wall towards the end of that race, I kind of figured I was first. It's hard to tell exactly where you are, but I kind of figured that I was first. And so I looked up, and so I saw the little 1 next to my name. I was like, hey, that's cool. I congratulated the guys in the other lanes, and then Coach Jeff walked up and he gave me a high five, and I was like, oh, nice. That's like never happened. And then I kind of walked over, and all my teammates congratulated me. Standing on the podium after winning was definitely a surreal moment, because since May, I've been thinking about what that would be like, and thinking about standing first, and kind of just what it would feel like, and knowing that I achieved my goal that I've had for many months, and definitely achieving it and definitely being there was a cool experience, and it was something that I definitely want to do again.
I didn't get the results I was expecting at Champs, but one good thing is like I stayed pretty close to my seed times, so I can't really be too upset. But I mean, of course, like I'm a little bit upset that I didn't do as well as I could, but just like I kind of took it as like, okay, this is my first Champs, so I'm just gonna take this and like use it as experience and like as the learning point. Definitely a hard one was like at Champs when I wasn't doing as well as I thought, and then like just having to get back in and warm down and like clear your head and then like get ready for the next race. Having the experience of 1 Champs under my belt will definitely help me, because I'll know what to expect and how to prepare differently.
I can definitely use this past Champs as motivation next season. I know that in the past I've always used these big meets during practice as motivation, because I know that at these meets when I'm behind the blocks, I want to know that I've done the most that I can possibly do to swim the fastest that I possibly can at that moment. And I know this past year I didn't quite have that, because I didn't know what Champs was like. The most I could do was speculate as to what this particular meet would be like, because all meets, especially championship meets, all meets are different, and I didn't know what this meet would be like, so all I could do was kind of speculate and to know that I would eventually have this feeling. But now that I know what it's like, I can definitely use that as motivation next season.
Overall, over the course of the season, I think the freshmen did really well, and that doesn't just mean like how they performed in meets, but I think they did a really good job at acclimating to the team and like acclimating to the swimmer lifestyle in college, because it's a lot to take in your freshman year. And I think they did a terrific job, and I think in terms of like meets and events, I think they realized that they were much more diverse than they had thought coming in. And that's pretty cool for a swimmer, to be able to swim so many different events and place really well in them and like get our team points. That's awesome, and that's what we want as a team. We want depth, and that's really what they provided for us, and I think that's so cool.
I thought they handled the season really well. I just like looking at someone like Brian, who coming in, I had no idea where he was going to swim, and ended up really, I mean, he asked to do the mile, which was a stupid decision, by the way, and and so I don't know, like stuff like him, like, you didn't know where he was going to go, and then Jay Smash was just so freaking excited for every race that it was just fun to be around him. And Herm just being Herm, and God only knows how he wins races. He's the most awkward person I've ever seen out of the water. But yeah, they did really well. I think it's a really good way to start the next 3 years here, and it's exciting.
we haven't gone through pain, if we've never felt like our lungs were on fire with every breath we took, if our body never felt like lead with every stroke we took, if every lap we swam never felt like they were getting worse, you've done it all wrong. Because hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. In order to succeed, our desire for success must be greater than the fear of losing. We dive into the water, pouring our heart and soul into every lap we swim. We leave the pool knowing every ounce of energy we put into a day's work will pay off in the end. You crash in your bed at night out of pure exhaustion, only until a few hours later, our alarm goes off again. Open our eyes and repeat.
I'm waking up to